All right, Chris, we're live.
Wow. Was it episode 22?
Yeah, episode 22.
This is a big deal. I mean, I think this could be one of the biggest episodes yet. So, Ian goes to the University of Notre Dame. I go to the University of Richmond. And Ian's been saying has all these great friends at Notre Dame, but has not introduced me to any of them yet. So, what other place to do it than on the podcast? So, Ian, do you want to introduce your two buddies?
Sure. So today we have a great episode in store. So our first guest, hailing from Dallas, Texas, he's a rising senior at the University of Notre Dame, studying applied and computational math and statistics with a minor in foundations of business. He's working this summer with Capital One.
Oh,
What's in
wow.
your wallet? As a business analyst intern, the head quarterbacks manager for the Notre Dame football team, Dylan Hall's next senior fellow, and a close personal friend, a man with the mind of a mathematician, the body of an athlete, and the heart of a philosopher. We welcome Stephen LeSage. Woo! Woo!
Thank you, Ian, for that incredibly overblown introduction.
Of course.
Glad to be here. I'd like to clarify he pays us to be his friends,
Of
and yeah, can't wait to
course.
get started.
That's what I thought.
Our
I didn't
next
have
guest
fictional friends.
Our next guest grew up just outside of Notre Dame, a homegrown Indiana boy. Now a rising senior at Notre Dame who's studying film, television, and theater with minors in journalism, marketing, and Italian. He'll be serving alongside me as a resident assistant in Dillon Hall next year. Working this summer as an editorial intern at the Dallas Morning News, he's a freelance sports journalist and an assistant high school swim coach. It is my pleasure to welcome my friend, the storyteller, Cooper VanDriessche.
Well, Talti, I appreciate
Woo!
you taking a look on my LinkedIn before we started today, because I mean, you read that. I mean, you gave a pretty good synopsis. So, as a history major, you're used to reading a lot of stuff. So you did a good job summarizing that LinkedIn. But I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. I can't believe it's taken 22 episodes though for us to hop on this thing.
Yeah, there are just a lot of people that we had to kind of
Yeah.
work our way
Yeah,
through.
he had a lot more people he and wanted to invite on before you guys. So seems like you guys he doesn't value
Well,
it.
it's better late than never.
That is true. That is true.
It is. All right, Chris, do you have any big updates in your life before we get started?
Oh gosh. I'll keep this brief because I'm very excited for this episode. But I guess my big update, I'm in Florida right now. Down here for the summer, so should be good vibes. Trying to get my tan. I was at the beach today, but my farmer's tan's still really bad, so trying to fix that. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Ian, anything from you?
Yeah, I mean a lot of great things going on.
Let me hear it.
So,
Girlfriend? Girlfriend?
no, no
Whoa,
girlfriend.
whoa, 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 whoa.
No girlfriend, no girlfriend. My mom probably just had a heart attack if she's watching this. Um, no, I think since the last time we had the podcast, I saw Bruce Springsteen twice, so that was huge. Now I'm just back at Notre Dame, living life, living in Dunn Hall this summer. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we get started with some questions for our guests, just to break the ice a little bit. I'll go first. All right, Stephen,
Oh gosh.
Ian.
can you tell us about the Dillon Hall Breakfast Club and what it means to you?
Oh, the Dylan Hall breakfast. It means so much to me, Ian. The theme of my semester Instagram post was the Dylan Hall Breakfast Club. It's a group of guys and a girl who really just
Singular.
I would honestly say it started out it's me and Ian really. That was the foundation, and then we had some great additions, some core members like Cooper here. And what it's about really, it's a story of manliness, getting up every morning and enduring the dining hall. It's a story of accountability, making sure we're up, we're ready to go, we're ready to attack the day. It's a story of appreciation of the finer things. There's a big love of tea in the Dillon Hall Breakfast Club. We like to get a little bougie, a little old world sometimes. And yeah, I mean, what we do, we get there. It's pretty routine. I mean, Ian eats the same thing every day, no matter what. So I don't really have to worry about him being there. I like to mix it up every once in a while. Maybe I'll grab some oatmeal, some cinnamon buns or something. But yeah, we're there. We're having a great time. We've pretty much exhausted everything there is to talk about. So sometimes we just kind of sit there and stare at each other, and honestly really nice. I enjoy those ones a lot. And yeah, we'll bring some priest friends of ours. Oh, there's a good mix of everybody, everyone from all walks of life. And there's even some members who we don't see very often, but we're always trying to get them there. We're always trying to expand. We're always trying to build the community.
Wow. What a fantastic answer. All right, I'll ask one of Cooper, and then Chris, I'll let you jump in with some questions. All right, Cooper, what is it
Okay,
like to
Ian.
be simultaneously a college student and a high school swimming coach? Can you tell us about that? Is it sometimes maybe funny, sometimes difficult? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll tell you, hanging out like around high school kids in that regard as a coach, it keeps you humble. You think I'm 21, I'm 3 years older than some of these kids, but I've been called Unc numerous times, and I've never felt older around a group of people than I do when I'm around those kids. But I think what's great about being a coach, especially for a team that has a lot of talent, is you can see what it takes to be great. You can't just show up because in Indiana, there's lots of great swimmers. I mean, you have Carmel High School. They've won 40 state championships in a row on the girls' side and 13 on the boys. So there's a pursuit of excellence involved. And I think that kind of is I use those lessons I see around them as something in my own life. Notre Dame, you're around great academic students and you want to be the best you can. And I think that's kind of just a reminder to me to constantly to approach everything. I mean, waking up at 5 in the morning to go swim in a pool is not fun. I mean, any swimmer will tell you that, but it's just part of the job. And just like you have to get on that grind for tests. It's not fun, but it's part of the job. And so it's all about getting the job done. And like our big saying is like, why not us and just be us? So I think if you just be yourself in these situations, and that's how you're going to prove yourself. And into your question, Ian, you mentioned it can be a tough balance too, but I love staying busy, and I think I love the sport of swimming. So it's my perfect world being at Notre Dame and being a coach. So I love it.
Thank you, Cooper. You can tell this guy's media trained.
Right.
Usually I'm on the other side. I'm not used to the one asking questions or being asked questions.
I'm not good at like keeping a straight face while somebody's answering.
Come on, Ian.
Ian,
All
let me hear that laugh, man.
right.
Oh, I love Ian's laugh.
All right, Chris, you got some questions you want to jump in with?
I do have questions. Both of you, fantastic, very interesting people, as I can tell. Ian selected some great ones. I guess my first question is, I feel like I've known Ian for such a long time, but I want to hear you guys. What was your first time meeting Ian, and what was your first impression of Ian, and how has that evolved over time? So, if Cooper or Steven, either of you want to answer that?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I can't tell you the first time I remember meeting Ian. He was kind of just around, you know? I'm sure I ran into him at some point freshman year. I frequented his roommate. We like to have a good time in the spring semester, so I'm sure I ran into Ian at some point. It might have also been potentially the our dorm's section football championship that I
Oh,
first ran into Ian Talty. We were on opposing teams. His team may have come out victorious that day, but I mean, we all know who the better player is, so you know. But and then what do I think of the guy? I mean, he's a character for sure. I mean, I've got some memories of Ian Talty that we went to a comedy skit, and the only thing more constant than the jokes the comedy skit was producing were Ian Talty's laughs. So that was a great time. He loves life. He loves everything about it. I really enjoy that. And I just enjoy how personable he is, you know? I mean, you look at this, he's got two guys showing up on podcast 23 of something they've never even heard of, didn't know what was going on, but yeah, Ian Talty asked us
Oh,
to be here. You're damn right we're gonna be here. I
damn
mean, he knows
straight.
everyone's names. He's the man, you know? He does it all. Goldwater scholar, as I've heard.
hmm.
I think that's a pretty big deal. I mean, he's loves his research for some reason. But yeah, top tier guy.
I love this quiz. Cooper, do you have anything to add or anything? I want to hear
Yeah, I'm not to glaze Ian too much. I think like the first I mean, freshman year you meet so many people so fast. But I remember I was walking through a section on a Saturday night, and the room next to him was having it was bumping. I mean, this triple was throwing, and just the look that Talty gave me as he walked by, I was like, oh, I gotta go try to go to sleep with this right next to me. But,
it.
I'm a big Ian Talty fan. I mean, I will always bother Ian when he's at the mail desk. So that is never a question. If he's trying to get work done, I will always stop there and have at least a 15-minute conversation. But if anyone's a bigger Ian Talty fan than myself, it's probably my mom. Ian did that Indian missions takeover a few
Oh,
months ago now, and I get a text from my mom with this screenshot, and she goes, "I love this kid. Do you know him?" And I was like, "Of course I know Ian Talty." And we were driving. Went to go get lunch with her one day, and we were driving back on campus, and Ian was walking. I don't think I've told you the story, and my mom goes, "Oh my God, it's that Ian kid." So my mom loves Ian Talty. They have not got to meet yet, but the day they do it will be a big event. So as much as I love Ian Talty, I'm not that I can't be too much of a fan. I got to keep him humble.
good. I like that. Ian, so you guys did not hear of this podcast until recently?
No, he likes to keep things
I
close to the
know.
vest.
Ian, what is that about?
Mute.
Ian, what is that? This is a big part of
Don't
our
you want the watches? Don't you want the clicks?
I do. I should have told people sooner. You guys are
This
probably
is so hypocritical.
you guys are probably the first people from Notre Dame who know about this.
Wow.
I'd bet on it.
That is crazy, Ian.
I'm not like a big like tell people stuff. It's like I like it to like come out. Yeah.
Hold on. Did you know he has a radio show?
I did know that.
Okay.
Yes, I
My
did know
parents told him that. So
All right. Oh,
Oh,
didn't
so you
tell
weren't
me.
I've
gonna
listened
say
a
it.
couple
You were gonna
times.
keep it on the DL. You're so humble.
Yeah, he's Mr. Humble.
okay. Next question. All right, Stephen.
Oh boy.
Tell us about your interests in both math and philosophy/theology. Maybe mention the senior thesis that you're going to be working on this year, perhaps.
Yeah, keywords there gonna be working on. I it's certainly a thought in my mind, but I've always enjoyed both the hard and soft sciences, as some would call them. I know Ian's big on just, chemistry, gritting it out, but I like to stop and think a little bit sometimes. I like to ponder why we're here. And one of my big interests, probably ever since I would say my senior year of high school, was I read a really cool book on zero and how it came to be in the mathematical system and kind of the implications of zero and how it ties into infinity. And it just got me thinking a lot about mainly like the size of the universe and how we go about describing that, talking about maybe how it was created. And one of the things I've been enjoying looking at, there's a friend of ours named David Eck at Notre Dame too. He's talked to me about this. He likes to bounce ideas off of me about it, but we just like to kind of consider how we describe infinity mathematically, the different sizes of it, how you can sort of enhance it and increase it, and then consider how it applies to maybe some metaphysical ideas, like maybe what size of infinity is God? Things like questions like that, where we then just start to consider, how big is God? Can we really even describe him in that sense? Talking about the universe, what does it mean if the universe is finite? What does it mean if the universe is infinite? It gets some fun stuff, and I'm actually really looking forward to digging even deeper into that subject this summer.
Thank you, Stephen.
Awesome.
All right, Cooper. Now, tell us about your upcoming role as an RA in Dillon Hall. Why did you want to be an RA? What does the role mean to you? I want to preface this by saying that most of the people who watch this podcast are people that me and Chris know from back home. And so like I tell them that I'm going to be an RA and I'm often met with looks of, confusion, you know, like why would I spend my senior year doing that? And it's like I can give as many explanations as I want, but I'm always going to be like, Ian, like the guy who doesn't party, who's kind of weird, whatever. Right. So Cooper, outsider, new perspective, would love to hear your take on this question.
Yeah, I think when I think of my time at Notre Dame, Dillon Hall has been a huge part of my story. And I kind of knew freshman year that I wanted to be an RA. My RA, Joey, I mean, one of the first people you meet at Notre Dame is your RA. And I love having, like, I saw that power that can have as being just a force for good in the dorm, as Notre Dame would like to phrase it. But Dillon Hall means a lot to me, and that's kind of the reason I wanted to be an RA. I wanted to give back to Dillon just because of everything, all the friendships it's provided, both you, Talty, and Steven. I wouldn't have met without Dillon. I think it's just, as an RA, you have that capability to help foster some of those relationships. I think I remember Bernard, one of the RAs this year, saying you learn to be a dad pretty quick. in the role of an RA is what he told me during my interview. And I was like, well, I hadn't thought of it like that. But when you think about the puke that gets left in a bathroom that has to be helped clean up, it's probably a little bit similar. But I wanted to be an RA, like I had mentioned, because you can foster relationships. And I saw the camaraderie that you get to build around campus as well. I mean, I think RA cohorts are pretty strong. We've been pretty lucky in Dillon to have a good solid group of RAs all 3 years we've been there. And I don't think you can have that in any dorm. So, and I have an immense respect for Father Ed as well. And getting to work with him was something I was really looking forward to. Getting to him starting as a rector our freshman year, and then seeing how he's grown as a rector, and that's corresponded with our journey, was like, oh, it's pretty cool that we'll all get to be an RA with him potentially. But and you experienced it was a tough process. I mean, 18 great candidates applied in Dillon, and it could have gone to any of us. We were all qualified. We all have a love for Dillon. We wouldn't have applied if not. But I'm looking forward to being an RA with you and leading what is going to be the best section in Dillon in 1C. And you can tell your friends that listen to that as well that 3B is going to struggle in comparison to the greatness that I'm going to help foster on the first floor. I will get to welcome everyone in, and I look very much forward to doing that. So, Chris, if you ever visit campus and you come in the back door, you'll get to stop right by because I'll get to welcome everyone into Dillon by my room. So, but no, I tell you, I'm really looking forward to being an RA, and it's something I've really wanted since freshman year, and just glad it's a reality.
Awesome. Thank you, Cooper. All right, Chris, you have
Yeah, I have
yeah?
a question to Cooper based off of that. So I know at Notre Dame there's no fraternities. At Richmond we have fraternities. I want to hear, maybe both of you guys can chime in on what's your thoughts on not having Greek life on campus. And I know that instead of Greek life, you have this very dorm-centric culture.
Yeah.
How do you view that? Is that a positive or a negative from your experiences?
Well, I think it's like the devil you only know dorm life in comparison. My dad was in Greek life at Ball State, so I was aware of what that's like, and I think it was a very big part of his story. And I think I would have liked that if it was an option, but only having dorm life, it's what you get to know, and you really do build. It's very similar to Greek life, and it's the closest thing you could have is that. So I mean, for us, Chris, you got a visitor, just so
Say
excited
hi to
for
your
this
dad, Chris.
I didn't realize he's behind me. Do you want to make an appearance?
What's up, Mr. Carr?
Who are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How's Haddonfield? You're in Haddonfield.
Just
No, I'm at Notre Dame.
Either way, that doesn't matter.
It's
How you
good,
doing?
yeah. Good weather.
Everything good?
Yeah, how's Florida?
Hot and rainy.
I'm sweating out here.
It's actually not bad. If you go inside, it's too cold, and when you come out here, it's too hot. So there's no. I'm just going to complain. Obviously, we can't complain now. It's been beautiful down here.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing you guys.
Nice to see you, Mr. Carr.
First official Mr. Carr.
When you have
appearance.
a proper agenda or something, let me know. 'Cause I'm very enlightening.
Yeah, he wants to come on. Maybe next guest.
Yeah.
Hey, pick a topic and we can discuss. See you
I
guys.
love that.
Yeah, you got to send him a topic beforehand.
Yeah, let him know. No, but I think I appreciated the guest that we had there, Chris. I mean,
Thank you.
and nice job, Tulti, on the questions ready to go. You're prompt. You can do off the cuff.
He's like that, he wasn't ready, but Ian's a great host.
No, but I think to answer your question, I think because you meet all the people from your dorm, people in Dillon are going to be in my wedding. So I think it's just very similar to how people have Greek life, because you live in the dorm for 3 years at least, and all of us will make it 4. So it becomes your version of that. Very different. There's different traditions that dorms have versus what fraternities have. But for me, it's been everything I could ask for, and you do build those same relationships you could in a fraternity.
Yeah, I don't have much to add there. It's kind of just a nice way, I guess, to make sure everyone's included in some way too. But I mean, it's kind of what he's saying. There's someone for everyone. So even if you're not really into that, you're still kind of a part of the group. But there's fun for people who want it. But yeah, I mean, they both sound like great systems. I've got a ton of friends in frats. It seems like a good time. I went down to IU last spring. Got to spend some time with one of my friends in Sigma Pi, and it was a weekend that I will never forget. It's maybe not a weekend I ever want to relive because I was exhausted, but it was a great time.
Well, and to your point, Stephen, I think too, by having random roommates, you're really forced to meet the people in the dorm as well. I mean,
Yeah.
like you're not just stuck with someone you know when you go in, which I know can happen in some of the other schools, but by having a random roommate, you're forced to meet those people not just in your room, but also in your section, in your dorm.
That's right. You might get really lucky. You get somebody like Joe Elvis. I mean,
Joe Elvis
Wait.
was
I have a follow-up
fantastic.
question. So, me and all my friends back home have been obsessed with Joe Elvis. We want to hear what is Joe Elvis like? What is the Joe Elvis Ian dynamic like?
they're obsessed with Joe Elvis. I don't know
I
why.
don't know if I can speak on the tall T Joe Elvis dynamic, but I do know the story about how you were on the quad and someone was blaring music and you're like, wow, somebody's really getting into it. And then you get back to the dorm, it's coming from your room. So, and if you can hear it pretty far on South Quad, that just tells you, I mean, Chris, for your South Quad is the biggest stretch
Okay.
of like empty space in a college campus in the country.
Mhm.
So that just can tell if you can hear it on South Quad from Dylan, and Talty's room didn't face the quad. That just says a little bit of something about Joe Elvis. But
Bad Bunny.
you know,
Bad Bunny.
Bad
yeah,
Bunny.
Oh,
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny's
Okay.
a great artist. Pepe would be proud. It's Pepe's favorite artist. Love Bad Bunny.
So, but I had class with Joe Elvis my freshman fall, and he would always show up late. I don't think there was a time that Joe Elvis was ever on time. And I remember he would bring snacks, and he'd pull like the cough to open up the Pringles can, so no one could like hear him opening up the Pringles can. Um, And then I needed to borrow a Swiffer to clean my room at the end of last year. And I went into their room and it was just like the weirdest setup I've ever seen. And then he's really good friends with my roommate sophomore year, Lee. And we had to use his car. And it was just like super dingy. I don't know how to describe it. It had maybe he needed a new air freshener, but I love Joe Elvis. Joe Elvis is a great guy. And he's just always, you can always count on him for a laugh. I mean, he's always going to provide a laugh. So I can understand why he was such a point of emphasis for Talty's friends.
Oh, yeah, love the guy. He's fun. He and Ian are opposite people. I think the best way you could see that is on the basketball court. I've heard they've butted heads a little
Oh,
when they
wow.
used to play with each other.
Wow.
But yeah, Ian is a big effort guy, big energy guy.
Mhm.
Loves the mid range. Likes to get to his spot and do his work. And he loves to play defense. And Joe Elvis, I mean, Joe Elvis is on the court. He likes to just kind of get the ball and shoot a three. He loves the back tap on defense, kind of just shuffles his feet around, lets you get by him, and then just tries to knock it out as you go by. I think that really displays uh, how they how they are kind of perfect complements for each other, honestly. And yeah, I love Joe Elvis. I hung out with him all the time before he went abroad this past semester. Awesome guy. Don't worry, we're all 21. He's shared some fine tequila with me. He is one of the best guys in Dillon Hall, and he's always laid back, as we were saying. He's always down for a good time.
You're
Yeah,
always
I
going to
mean,
laugh when you're around Joe
exactly.
Elvis. I mean, you're
There was
always
not a
going to
better
laugh.
freshman year roommate for Ian Talty than Joe Elvis to get him ready for
Yeah,
college.
that was the thought process. I think Joe Elvis has a lot of things Ian could learn from him, and
Well,
hopefully absorb some of that.
Talty, how did you find? Like, did you reach out to Joe Elvis when you found out who's going to be your roommate? He reached out to you. Like, how did that process work?
Um, I think one of us sent an email to the other, but like we had each other's numbers. Like we texted a little bit, but it was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
like, yeah. We never struck the match. You know what I
and it
mean?
was a movie the moment you guys moved in.
Yeah, dude, it was.
His parents, Joe and Elvis.
That's the best story ever.
That is, yeah, Ian, you did tell me that. I forgot, but that was really funny.
Yeah, that was,
That is hilarious.
yeah, that was a great story. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully now this puts the Joe Elvis questions to bed. Um,
There'll be more questions, don't worry. There always will be more.
all right. So I have a final question. It's the same question for both Steven and Cooper. Chris, do you have
A
any
final
final
question. I feel like we barely got started.
No, we got more to talk about. Just like
Okay.
It's gonna get
general
it's gonna get
question.
deeper and more
Okay.
fruitful. Yeah.
Chris, anything before
I mean, I do have more questions, but I feel like this could put us on a tangent, so I think you go with your stuff first.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so there's the final general question before we really get started. What's your favorite thing about Notre Dame, excluding Ian Talty, of course?
Humble as always.
And well, now I don't know what to answer. So hopefully Cooper's got something.
I think being from South Bend, I never wanted to go to Notre Dame growing up. I was always in my backyard. It was really close to home. But there was one game my junior year of high school, I sat behind the student section. It was the moment I knew I wanted to go Notre Dame because I didn't see a camaraderie like that anywhere else that I visited when I was looking at colleges. And being at Notre Dame, that's proven to be true. And I think people talk about the Notre Dame network. This isn't about a network. This is about the friendships you build. And it's honestly my favorite part about Notre Dame. I loved going abroad. It was a great experience when I went to Rome last fall, but I missed the people so much when I was there. So coming back, that was probably my favorite thing. That's why I love Notre Dame is the people. You learn a lot from people around you, not just in the dorm, but around campus, and just some of my best friends. I'm really looking forward to spending one more year with them on campus and just enjoying senior year at Notre Dame. It's a great place.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say the exact same thing, but like that's basically what it is. But I'll add that it makes it so easy to be yourself because of that group of people that you've got there. Like there are times I still feel like I'm like 18 years old because I can just goof around and act like an idiot like I was in high school. And no one cares. I've got a great friend group who wants to, like act like that with me. So makes it great. Makes it easy to be yourself at Notre Dame.
Awesome. All right. So usually we have like a big topic for the podcast. Steven and Cooper didn't really like give me anything they wanted to talk about, so I kind of just chose my own stuff.
Oh, what is
Okay.
it?
All right, so I got like
Top.
kind of two big general ones, but then I got questions to hopefully structure discussion. So social media and sports. All
Okay.
right. All right. So we're gonna start with social media. First question, just getting started, right? All three of you guys, like within the last 2 weeks, posted on Instagram. Great posts, by the way. Second only to the comments that I left on each of your posts.
Okay.
But you all
I
had great
It was a
posts.
paragraph.
But I'm really curious, right? I'd love to hear all of your philosophies when it comes to crafting an Instagram post. What are you going for? You know, what are you hoping to evoke in your audience? And what advice might you give to like a young man who's trying to find his way in the Instagram world? What goes through your mind, right? We can start with anybody who feels comfortable starting.
I can go. I think well, how I make my posts, I just had my girlfriend Marlo make them for me. I usually don't really post very often. I post very infrequently. I only have 3 posts, so I post probably average like every 1 or 2 years. And I think really my goal of that is one to, have those pictures to remember, but mostly being it, I just want to show my aura, show off like how cool I am. And I also want to get my comment to like ratio very like great. Like recently, I think I had like 70 plus comments on my recent post. So that was really good. So just like when someone new follows me, it just looks like I'm really cool. So that's but yeah, if you guys have anything else to add, that's my thought process on it.
I've actually started posting frequently, or not frequently, but recently, I would say. I had a few posts in high school. It was mostly, homecomings and proms and the usual. I did take those down before I got to college.
Mm.
Just some past history there that I didn't need to keep on the gram. But I didn't really post a lot. I had like one post because I went to Mexico for spring break one year. That was kind of fun. I just did a semester post actually, each of the last 2 semesters. Really, it's just kind of I want to show a little bit of myself, how much fun I've been having. I feel like at this point now at Notre Dame, I've got a very like set group, and I've really kind of found myself and I've found my group, and it's something that I want to share with people. Honestly, I know people tend to get a kick out of it especially my mom, when she sees a new post. So, and I've just got things I wanna share with the world. Went to the Bean in the fall semester. I thought that was a pretty cool photo. I said, yeah, I like to show my music taste too. I posted some yacht rock to accompany the
Love some yacht rock.
photos, everything like that. I mean, just little bits of myself. I enjoy it. It's never really like I'm not too worried about, oh, like this person liked it, this person didn't like it, any of that. Like it's kind of just it's something fun to do. I'm engaging with the culture of our generation and having a great time doing it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, kind of similar to Steven and the point he made, like I want to show the people that have had like the biggest part of my semester. So that was like very important to me showing them, or not even, I usually post about once a year. So the people that have had like the biggest part in the past year, because those are people that I like spending time around. And I don't really try to like make it super aesthetic. If I can, I try to like do a good layout, do a good, got to keep I will never post the 20 pictures. I think that's ridiculous when I'm scrolling like this for 700 slides. So I'll keep it below that. But I mean, for me, it's also I use social media and other things. As a journalist, you're going to use it as a ton in other regards. You got to, especially in sports. That's how you get a lot of stuff on Twitter. And so I do post media wise in there. But when I come to my own personal stuff, I like to just show who I am, and that's part of the reason. Like I don't really care if people like it. If people like it, that's great. I'm not gonna go out in there. And we actually had this conversation in the LeSage household last week about likes and if you're noticing who's liking and who's not. So, but no, I'm gonna post what's meaningful to me, and usually like I'll post when at the right time. Like I'm not just gonna post like, oh, I got to do an end of the year post. If something happens, you gotta feel the moment, right? So that's why I was inspired to do an end of semester post this May. And thank you for the wonderful comment, Ian. And Stephen, your comment was great as well. The details of your incompetence do not interest me was a great comment.
It was a really boring post.
I'm sorry that I didn't live up to your standards. I'll work on that for next spring.
Yeah. Ian, I was kind of curious. Any thought process into not posting?
Me? Oh, I'm glad that you asked me. So yeah, so I know a lot of people are probably wondering because I try not to be on Instagram very often. Pretty limited access. And it's almost like I was telling people this recently. It's like the gift of the Magi, right? It's like in order to become a true Instagram master, you almost have to be removed from it in a sense. So there's a reason why I'm like a top 1%er Instagram wise in terms of just like quality of my page. There's really not many people moving like I am in the Instagram world these days. And I'm on it pretty infrequently. Like I don't want to say I'm a true master of the game, but I'm pretty close. If you check out my Instagram page, I'm on it right now, for the reasons of this episode. I've got 4 posts and really they're just great, to be quite honest with you. What goes into these posts? Well, a lot of selfies. I got to stay true, authentic, genuine to myself. That's kind of my bread and butter. Love the selfies, love to smile, right? So a lot of that, a little whimsical, a little bit serious, right? But really just trying to show myself, capture a bit of me, put it on the page. But then a really important part for me is coming up with the perfect caption. I put a lot of thought into it. There's not many people on the whole planet, who would understand my captions. They're intricate. They speak to moments in my life. Right? It's really me working through a mental process, like I'm writing a book and leaving these little allegories and metaphors. That's my caption, right? It's really only meant for me to look back one day and say, this is where I was at in this moment of my life. A similar philosophy goes into my comments. I make those a little bit more general. Um, you know, just try to make sure that I really light up the comment section on people's posts. Make sure people know, like, oh wow, they have a friend as interesting as Ian Talty. This person must be pretty awesome, right? But yeah, so as far as not posting recently, well, let's just say you should keep your eyes out, perhaps in the next.
Oh, whoa.
For chance.
We're privy to some information here, Tall.
I'm
I was just stay aware. Stay aware, maybe. Yeah.
I'll be
aware. Be aware.
Is it going to be in black and white though?
Maybe it should be in black and white. That's a good idea.
Well, we don't know if it's happening, but
all righty. Awesome conversation about Instagram. Love it. I'd love to move to a different social media, app now. Cooper, you mentioned this a little bit, right? We're gonna talk about LinkedIn now. All right, so if I could just share my screen here really quickly. Yeah. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Oh my
God.
500 connections. Wow.
500 plus.
Okay, so this is Cooper's LinkedIn page. So we'll just take a slow but quick scroll through.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Pretty legit. Got a
Wow.
lot going on. Very,
Goodness.
very well developed, right?
It's well put together. That's a great LinkedIn page.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
my
don't pull
Instagram
mine.
page. Dude, the bar at the top. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, this is Steven's LinkedIn page now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sparse, to say
Oh.
the least.
Hey, at least it's
Okay.
there.
And then last up we got Chris.
Oh God.
304 connections, but pretty solidly developed here. You know, not bad, not bad. Yeah. So now I just have to stop sharing.
Yeah, you gonna show yours?
Oh
Do you want
yeah.
to see? Do you
Oh,
want to see mine?
Yeah,
Well, you
definitely
can't
do.
be going through ours and then not show yours.
Okay, if I
it's
can
a
figure.
great photo, Ian.
That's a great photo. Ian, gotta click view profile. Oh my gosh.
I'm going, dude. I'm going. Oh, my Wi-Fi is a
Oh,
little slow right now.
Ooh.
uh,
EDU Rome is not worth doing you dirty.
They
Oh
don't have a
yeah, ND
Wi-Fi in
guest
Notre Dame.
on. ND guest.
Then that's why.
it
All
must
right,
be
we
a
won't look at
redacted
mine.
site.
All right, all right.
Inappropriate
Anyways,
photos on there or something.
so we've taken a look at all these LinkedIn profiles, right? So now I'm curious, same sort of question, right? What are your thoughts on LinkedIn? Um, and do you have advice just from your personal experience, like high school seniors, college freshmen, hearing about this whole LinkedIn corporate world, really overwhelming, right? Like what advice would you give to them based on your own personal philosophy and approach to LinkedIn? Why don't we go opposite direction this time? We'll go Cooper, Steve, and Chris.
Yeah, I think for me, for LinkedIn, I think my one piece of advice is do not overpost. I think the worst thing you can do is just post constantly on LinkedIn because honestly, no one is looking into it that deeply. You do not need to post every time you make the dean's list. It's just not necessary. I mean, that's a great accomplishment, and people should be proud of that. But not when everyone else is posting about it on LinkedIn, it really loses its appeal. It's like you're flooding your content field by posting that constantly, and it just really gets old. And you're not gonna people aren't gonna like it. They're just gonna scroll. There's a great place called the education section where that looks perfectly. It's like it was almost like it was meant for something like that. Um, but for me, I think with LinkedIn, I try to do if it's like a big life achievement, I posted at the end of high school swim season and college swim season when we were state runner up, and the team I was working for won the national championship. So big life achievements like that. And then I posted about my internship. And so I think too, just finding the right time to post. Um, don't do it when there's like busy times. I think so. I waited to post my internship because everyone was doing it in April. Everyone posts their internship in April. So just what's finding out the time that works best, kind of my philosophy. But curate the page to yourself. LinkedIn gives some good recommendations. Look at some other people and get some interest on there to really make it full. And please post because I think that's the word you click on someone's profile, Steven. You have this big Capital One internship. We haven't heard anything about it on LinkedIn. You could have got some hype up comments. Um,
Mm.
so I think again, it just don't try to cater to other people, but also be yourself and don't and don't overpost because that gets really and then when you overpost like that, in my mind, people are gonna like your future stuff. So I think that's how you got to roll with LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Cooper. Steven.
Yeah. So my knowledge of LinkedIn is essentially that it's like for business stuff. I'm as Ian mentioned, I'm in the applied math department at Notre Dame, so it was never really heavily like marketed to me or anything like, hey, this is something you need to do, something you need to get on. Clearly they were right. Like I ended up with a business internship this summer, right? So it's not certainly not the be all end all of any candidate or anything. As Cooper was talking about how he's posting, life events and things like that's just never really occurred to me even to do on LinkedIn. I'm certainly planning on updating it at some point, probably after this summer. I mean, I've got to throw some stuff on there. I've got to put Capital One on there. I've got to put managing on there. But it's just never been like a heavy focus of mine. I've kind of gone about the whole internship and getting a job process in a pretty terrible way, I think. I didn't do a whole lot of networking. I kind of just cold applied to like 40 or 50 internships and uh one of them got back to me and it was the one I got. So I got kind of
Let's
lucky there,
go.
but yeah. But yeah, so it's certainly I wish I have had and will be putting a little more time into it. But it's not it's never been a big priority of mine. I've spent more time focusing on like my resume and yeah, to me, LinkedIn, it's a very business thing that I just haven't really worked on or set up yet.
Chris?
Yeah, so I don't really have honestly much to add here. Being that I don't post on LinkedIn. Maybe I update it like once a year. Um, Really, I just go on there just to comment on other people's stuff because I find it funny when people post. I think I agree with Cooper that like one of the worst things you can do is overpost. Like I see those kids that post every single t second, and I just find it like I mean, from my perspective, I just find it hilarious. But I'd assume from like an actual business perspective, that's probably not the best thing. And yeah, like I said, I don't really use it just because the healthcare field that what going to don't really need that. So I don't really have much to add, unfortunately. But Ian, do you have anything to add?
Not really. Just yeah, not really.
Nothing. Yeah,
I'll
nothing.
do a quick.
Yeah, go
Oh,
for it.
there
Go
we
for it.
go.
Got it.
Is
Yeah.
Goldwater on there?
Wow.
So we
Yeah,
got
put that
Ian
on there.
Talty, good picture.
I think you stole my picture. I think that's my head-in photo. Fan, fan, fan.
Oh, is that actually your heading photo? Is the same
Yes.
one? All right, so it's just, basic.
Oh, is that a resume?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's an old resume though. I just updated. I got to
Look at
update.
all that on-campus experience.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't see Goldwater anywhere. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
whoa, 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 whoa. Go
Yeah,
back
yeah,
up.
yeah.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Go
We
back
really
down.
wanted to brag about that, didn't we?
Stop hiding it, Talty.
Come on, Ian.
Alrighty. Stop sharing. Okay, so in the realm of social media, I've got one more question,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
Chris, if you wanna jump in with like some
Yeah,
general questions.
I have a great question, but yeah.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up the social media discussion. So we've heard kind of general philosophies on two big social media apps. So I want kind of a far-reaching, looking forward question. Like, what do you think is the best path forward with social media? Because obviously, research shows that it does cause a lot of issues for people in our generation, but there are also positives that it offers. I think that we four are probably good examples of people who have a good handle on social media and use it positively. But if you're just thinking about like overall societal impact, what do you think the future of social media looks like or should look like? And how do you envision it being used by like your children one day, perhaps? Um, all right, kind of a big one. So anybody want to tackle that first? Or maybe I can stall for a minute, give you guys time to
I don't
think.
mind going.
Oh, go ahead, Cooper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk about what is the role of social media in our society. And I took two different classes past semester. One was a social media strategy class, and the other one was a class called Code and Context. And in that class, we talked about a lot of not just what coding looks like in the 21st century, but also what is other implications. And we talked a lot about this large case against Meta and their social sites. And I think it's social media is always going to be a part of our society. I mean, we're way past anywhere where it couldn't be there, but it's having. I think there do need to be restriction on it. I like how Australia has put an age ban on when you can get on social media. I think that the worst thing is having children get on it too young because then you're instantly told to compare yourself to standards that aren't meant to be compared to. I mean, you don't ever, especially with AI now, you never know what's going to be completely real, and especially with how much more advanced AI is getting. I mean, we're going to see stuff like right now you can kind of pick out that AI slop, but eventually all these influencers, you can't tell me these people aren't going to be using AI to do something here in the future. So I think you just have to be careful around it, and you just have to know that. And I think for me, with what I want to say with my kids is, I don't want them on social media until they're older, and I hopefully there will be laws in place at that time that so I won't have to worry about that. But it's so easy to go on social media. I mean, I did this when I was in middle school. I made up my age. Like, oh, I was not 13 when I first got social media, but you put down a date. So I hope that there is a way for social media to be just a place. I like it to just keep up with people. I don't like the bragging that people do on social media. I think it gets annoying, and I think that's why people don't like that stuff, and that's what the bad part of social media is. But I mean, like we all talk about our posts on social media on Instagram. We do that to show like just the people a part of our semester and part of the moments that we had the most fun on. I think that that's what needs to be used for, and hopefully other people and people in power really do realize that and really crack down a lot of the issues that these sites have because there are a lot and they are unfortunately hurting a lot of people.
Great answer.
That was really good.
Anybody want to follow that one? You
I
could
mean, I
just
can try, but it won't be good.
you go ahead.
Um, so I think just one. Wait, Ian, can you repeat the question? I want to get this right.
All right. So I was just asking, like, generally, like, thinking about social media, kind of thinking about how you use it, but also thinking about the greater societal
Future,
impact.
yeah.
Um, what do you view as like social media's role in our society? What should it be moving forward into the future? And then, like, how do you, like, for your children specifically, like, how do you view them using social media? How would you like them to kind of approach social media?
Yeah, I think right now, I mean, with a lot of people I know, and just in general, you see all these people that are quite honestly addicted to social media, and I would say definitely I've probably overused it too. Um, and there's just like a loss of this like immediate human connection, which I think is tragic. And I think people are starting to realize that in some senses. But that's definitely something that we're gonna have to combat against. And I think it's been very easy just to like distance ourselves from people around us versus for like making actual human connections. I think one thing, at least with our generation, that was pretty lucky is I feel like at least up until middle school, like I didn't really have a phone or social media or anything. And not that I didn't get like a full, it wasn't the full like experience of growing up, but like a decent part of our childhood was not having any of this social media, not having a phone. I just remember just like going knocking on my friends' houses doors and uh seeing if they're home and then going to play in the woods or do sports or something. And I think it's a shame. Like I see a lot of these kids now, they're just iPad kids, and I think that's like tragic. And I just my just the thought the probably it's probably not great for those kids just to throw an iPad at them whenever they're misbehaving. I think it was a lot different for us growing up, having that ability to like, you know, not be focused on the screen so much. And then looking in the future, what all my kids want? I don't know. One thing about this podcast, I just hope that they think they're watching this now. I hope they think we're really cool people. I think another reason why I didn't mention this was, I post so, people could. That's one thing I was thinking about the other is like, are my kids gonna see like my Instagram posts? Like, will those be up that long? Like, and if so, I gotta make sure I look cool now. So I think that's one
Yeah.
of my goals. But it's like weird to think about. No, I don't really know what will happen, but I hope, like, yeah, like I agree with the Australia thing that like hopefully there is more regulation, at least for those young kids for sure.
Steven, anything to throw in?
I would agree with that. I didn't get a phone until I think I was just end of eighth grade, and I got Instagram with it. But same thing. I think it was really it kind of it to me it kind of sucked sometimes. I was always kind of like, damn, like I wish I could text my friends, do this and that. I'd see them like playing game pigeon before school or something. I'd be like, oh, I wish I could do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not mad about it. I'm glad that I had sort of some time to think about it. And just kind of the way I look at it now is it's fine as long as you don't take it too seriously. Basically,
Mm,
like I think this really ties into what you're saying with people like turn it into how they interact with other people and how they make it their life basically. Then you're like then it's number one for you and you're taking it way too seriously.
Yeah.
And but like you just can't like for me it'll be like oh, it's kind of nice to see what someone's up to, but I'm never gonna look at someone's Instagram post and comment on it and be like, okay, now like I have interacted with them and
mm.
like that's never gonna place calling them or texting them or something to me. Just because like it's nowhere near the same thing. Or even like scrolling on Reels. Like, yeah, it's fun. I certainly have had trouble with that. But like you cannot that can't be like your primary way to have fun base. Like I would so much rather go play basketball with Ian Talty or something. Or, go to the dining hall with Cooper VanDriessche. It's just like,
I like how mine
there's
had to do with eating.
yeah, well, me and you, we've been getting a little fat lately. But yeah, like I if and it's also just the stuff you see on there. Like you can't take it too seriously. Like I get some fantastic for you page suggestions. Like I've had days where I've been going through like the conspiracy theories of the United States government. It's incredibly interesting. I'm absolutely hooked on it, but you cannot take any of this stuff too seriously because it will totally eat you up. And I think that like that's sort of what I want to try and bring to the future generation, as you were saying, bring to my kids. I'll definitely, same as all y'all, I want to have them wait on it. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Well, I think Stephen, you made like a good point too. So you cannot ever replace that face-to-face human interaction. I mean, like I
Yeah.
think about too, like you go to a movie, like you're in a movie. There's nothing like being in a movie theater, like experiencing that with like everyone else. I think that's
Yeah.
like one of the coolest is like you're watching, like everyone's watching this movie for the first time. I think it's the same thing with like human interaction. Like, oh, you can see someone on social media, but you're never going to like, oh, Stephen Georgia is currently at my door.
Oh, good. You should
So
let her in. You should let her in.
we might get a guest here. Um, but I think you will never be able to replace that human interaction. And to your point too, Chris, I mean, we had to go outside and meet people when we were kids. Like we had to watch commercials when we were kids. So I think like it's gonna be how do we find that in the current and like a
Yeah.
continuing evolving era is a good question. But hopefully there's some hope.
Wow. Yeah, great responses. I want to say, like, we got to bring real commercials back because I swear I'll be watching something that has
She's gone
commercials
now.
and I'll get like 6 straight eczema ads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We need real commercials again. I just wanted to throw that in there. That'll be my contribution to this discussion. All right, Chris, so that's the conclusion. That's all I had for the social media discussion. Thought that was fantastic. Chris, do you have some questions now? Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. I have a lot of things to talk about. I think one thing that I know all of our viewers are curious about is Ian, you already know what I'm gonna ask. But Ian has never been, a great ladies' man per se. And I know in high school he struggled with that. From my understanding in college, he
Wait, he struggled with that? What the hell
what?
kind of way is that to put that?
Inexperienced, to say the least. I heard he did do some. He had well, at least one prospect at this time I heard about. But I want to hear about your guys' views on Ian's romantic life and if you have any suggestions for him.
We
Steve,
talk
you go
about
first.
this every episode.
Oh
We talk about
yeah.
this, by the way. Every episode, every single guest, by the way.
That's good. Bring it
You
up,
know,
man.
hey, you have 22 episodes of this now. You have no excuse. You've gotten plenty of advice.
Yes.
That's well. First, I'd just like to say, Emery says hi, Ian. She told me to tell you.
Oh,
Don't.
It's
She's my
Steven's
girlfriend, so
girlfriend. Steven's
sorry,
never
but
mind.
yeah.
My bad.
But I've never. I think Ian's great. I think Ian's great for advice, honestly. He and I had a lot of great discussions back when I was flirting with this gal and thinking about taking her out. He's a fantastic accomplice for that kind of thing. I have no problem though. Based on like conversations I've had openly with him about it, I have no problem with how he wants to go about it and do his thing and just kind of he Ian wants to grow his garden and I think that's awesome. I completely agree with that. The only thing I'd maybe throw in there for him to consider is I think his dream girl is just going to be the girl who shows up and says, "Ian, I want to take you out," and falls into his lap. But sometimes sometimes that might not happen. So I don't think there's anything wrong with just going up and saying hello and then letting your garden speak for itself
Mm,
every once in a while.
I love that.
I think that's a good point, Stephen. And I'm not going to say lower your standards, Ian, because I think you can have your standards as high as you want to be, that as high as you want them to be. Um, but I think too, like, don't be afraid to just take a girl out just to get some experience.
Mhm.
Just take her to Eddy Street, buy her a meal, and then just talk. And you never know how maybe then that will happen. Maybe all it takes is one meal, and she'll be like, I want to go out with you. And I'll really, you have to do the
Wow.
one meal and maybe the rest will happen. You never know. You never know.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Appreciate that. All right, Chris, any other questions before we move into the next segment?
Gosh, that was I have more, but you just go with your next.
Oh, just ask one.
Gosh, you're putting me on the spot, Ian.
You just said you had more questions.
I do, but I don't like the ones I have though. Um, Gosh. So I guess one thing that I'm curious about, I know Stephen mentioned this at the beginning, and I've heard a little bit about it, is this Breakfast Club. And can we go like this is a question I heard earlier, I just didn't ask, but like What is like the average attendance of like a breakfast club meeting? And how does that like what time is this meeting at?
7:45.
7:45. I would average is probably what, like 3.4, Ian? What do you think?
Yeah, probably. We have like, so me and Steven
We're the
and
usuals.
Cooper, I would say, are there
Yeah.
just about every
Cooper's there a
morning.
lot.
And then we have a freshman named Terrence who
Okay.
started coming a lot. But he was just like, he
But
was
he will
struggling.
sleep in. He
Yeah.
will
Oh, yeah.
miss.
He
Oh,
would
nice.
like, he wanted to be there every morning, but he would like, like sometimes he would just fall back asleep. So we had like four pretty consistent members. And then Celebrity Thursday is our big
Mm.
day when we get like Father Ed, our rector comes, our friend Father TJ Groden comes. Um, Steven's girlfriend Emery comes, but she started coming a lot more
She did
consistently.
start coming a lot. Yeah.
Tim
Um,
Barloon.
yeah, Tim
Tim.
Barloon, our friend Tim comes. So we usually like the biggest crowd we've had is probably like 8 or 9.
Hmm.
But pretty consistently we'll have like 3 or 4 on a given morning.
Yeah.
Next year we're gonna grow though. It's gonna be bigger.
And
Oh,
like
we've
you
got
guys,
some tricks planned for the freshmen.
Yeah.
I love that. And do you guys like meet up at the dining hall, or is there you meet up at Dillon Hall? How does that work? Has Ian ever missed a meeting?
No, God, Ian's the first one there.
Oh
Because
wow.
he makes his eggs, so he's got to get there early, or he'll keep us waiting.
Mm.
But yeah, we'll meet at the dining hall. It'd be too hard to wrangle everyone in Dillon Hall.
Yeah, I think it's in like you roll in between 7:45, 7:55 at the dining
You,
hall.
you can just show up. I'm usually a couple minutes late.
And then we're always in the general same area. I'm at the end of the
Right.
table,
You have a
right near the
table?
silverware. I mean, always up somewhere in that stretch. I mean,
Mhm.
we don't do a lot of variation from there. And there's lucky that's lucky
Well,
because for the time we're at the dining hall,
unless there's a cute girl around, right, Ian?
oh yeah.
Oh, Ian.
It's a
Um,
story for another podcast, perhaps.
What is that story?
All
I
right.
want to hear the
So
story. I want to hear the story. I gotta hear the story now.
Girl number two? What?
Ian, I gotta hear the
No,
story
it's
now.
not. I
Ian, I gotta hear the story now. You can't go past this.
okay, I'm gonna set a 2.5 minute timer. And when that 2.5, I'm done after 2.5 minutes, okay?
Okay, go.
All right, I just started. All right. So we were having breakfast club every morning, right? Consistently. And there was a girl, just pretty, it's a regular pretty girl, right? She sat on the other side of the dining hall every morning. One morning I come in and she's sitting like exactly where we always sit. And so, but like I didn't want to sit at the same, so I like sat behind her, like at a different table. But then it was like I came in extra early for like 2 straight weeks, and every morning she was there. Um, but yeah, but I didn't do anything. So yeah. But then obviously I was getting up like way too early to do this, and I was just not getting enough sleep. So
He wanted to see
I
her.
decided I had to I could not do it anymore. I started coming at the regular time again. So
have you seen her
So that
since?
I haven't seen her since. Yeah.
do you ever
But you'd
talk to her?
recognize her, right?
I would recognize her. Yeah.
Do you ever talk to her?
No, I didn't.
So wait, so you were
That's why
getting
I don't want to tell the
extra,
story.
you're getting up extra early to avoid a pretty girl.
No, to go see
No,
her.
I
To
was
go see
going
her.
up extra early to go sit by her.
Oh, to sit by oh.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to talk to her.
But she beat me there every morning. That was my plan was I was going to try to beat her there so that when she sat down, I would invite her to sit with me. But she beat me there.
Oh, Ian, you're such a player, man. Oh my
Yeah, she
God.
beat me there every morning. And I decided I couldn't sacrifice my sleep any longer. I did it for like 2 weeks.
All right, Ian, I'm impressed. A good effort.
There's a plan. There's a plan there.
There was
All
a
right.
plan. I didn't know that last part. There's a plan.
There's a plan, yeah.
The gears were turning.
No words, but there was a plan.
That's the start.
The first
Love
step.
that. We love that, Ian.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, anything else, or should we move into our next segment?
Let's keep going.
All right. So sports. Sports, awesome, right? Super important to everybody in this meeting. Everybody here's had some different experiences with sports. The audience kind of knows me and Chris a little bit better. So Stephen and Cooper, I'm interested both of you. Tell us about your sports journeys as, players. We've heard about Cooper's experience as a coach, but then also both of you as managers, and also Cooper as a sports journalist. So just both of you, in whatever words you would like to use, describe your experience with sports, your journeys, your roles. Go wherever the wind blows you with this question.
Yeah. I'd love to share my sports journey with you, Ian. But I started out soccer was my big sport for a long time. I started playing in probably like pre-K or something ridiculous. I was on a team. It was me and all like the Spanish kids in Dallas, basically. They called me El Lobo because I had a lot of hair on my arms when I was really young. But I played a ton. Yeah, it was a good story. I thought it was pretty funny. But I played a ton of soccer. I always loved football. I watched Notre Dame football all the time. So when I got the opportunity to in seventh grade, I did play for about half a season. I then broke my leg because a kid sat on me. He was a big kid and I was a small kid, so that happened. Coach didn't notice for about half the game though, so I think it took me like limping down the field on punt coverage for him to be like, something's wrong with you. You need to take a break. But then I kind of branched out. I would say after that, I didn't play any more football. I found that I really enjoyed running during track season that year. So track became like my main favorite thing. I would do cross country just to kind of stay in shape for it. And I even kind of strayed from soccer. I started playing basketball about halfway through my high school career. Uh, Basically just because I was tired of being cold. We do soccer in the winter during Texas outside, and it was freezing, and it would rain, and it'd be like 35 degrees all the time, and I'd had enough of it. I wasn't really that good at basketball, but it was fun. I got to play on some of the JV teams and have a good time. I was on varsity my senior year, but that's just because everyone made varsity if you were a senior. It's a small school. But yeah, track was always my favorite thing. I love being fast. I love being explosive. I started out as a distance kid, and I just couldn't. I hated running that long, so I basically made myself. I was like, I'm gonna get down. I ended up doing I think the 400 by the end of high school, and I loved it. I loved the meets. I loved the practices. Just being in that kind of shape and being able to move like that. It's something I definitely miss. It's something I'd consider going back to. I'd love to coach track at some point, do something like that. But then when I got to Notre Dame, I got to kind of restart. I ran club track there my freshman year. It was fine. I got to go to U Chicago for me. It was interesting. Like it was a cool experience, but not something I was super into. And then I found out about the football managing program because my mom sent me a DM on Instagram about it. So there you go, Instagram. And it's been sick. I got to try out my freshman fall. I got the job, and just super cool experience. Like I've always loved football, obviously, and it's kind of doing this has made me sort of be able to enjoy that part of what I like. I love football, and now I get to kind of t partake in it. I worked with the receivers my sophomore year, had a great time with them. They're a super fun group of guys. Really outgoing. They like to show off a little. That our coach there at Notre Dame, Coach Brown, he's one of the best guys I know. He's encouraging us. He likes to talk to us just about like what we're up to. He learns about you. Gives me movie recs. He tells me to watch Friday so I can appreciate the culture or something. So that's on my bucket list. And then I got moved to quarterbacks coming into this year. There was a couple of openings for that, and I guess they thought I could throw and catch pretty well. So that felt good to me. But quarterbacks has been sick. Again, a super fun group of guys. They're chatty. They like to hang out. I basically will just we kind of have different parts of practice for about the first half of practice. We're just working with the quarterbacks. I'm catching for them, just kind of helping them out with drills. And then once we get into the more organized parts of practice, there's a bunch of roles the managers have, but it's basically just making sure every play is set up and everything's running continuously the whole time. It's super cool. I've been able to go to a bunch of awesome places. Got to go to Miami, Arkansas, all those great, awesome spots this year. Miami was definitely the coolest game I've ever been to, even though we lost. But just the environment they had down there was insane. Louder than I've ever heard Notre Dame Stadium, unfortunately. But awesome. Obviously, we're gonna have a bunch of great spots this coming year, and hopefully, we're gonna have a long season too. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also just basketball at Notre Dame, that was something I got to continue. Play with people who are a little more my level, like Ian. And yeah, it's just great. We get to go out and like that's my fun cardio for the week is we go play basketball a couple times a week. we got some super fun sophomores, freshmen we like to play with, and yeah, we just go have a good time. You get some good games too.
Oh
It's
yeah.
competitive. It's healthy. I think we're all getting really good too. So there you go.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you, Stephen. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Cooper.
Yeah, so I did sports growing up. I did a variety of different things. Most of them I was not great at. I did do some cross country middle school that I liked, but I've always considered myself a swimmer. Growing up around the water, my dad is a swim coach. He's been coaching swimming in Indiana for probably almost 30 years now. So I've always known swimming. It's been a large part of my story. And growing, my dad was the coach in my high school, Riley. That's where he swam. So I mean, the moment I was born, I knew I was going to go swim at Riley, which is something I had always wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to swim for him. I want to be part of this tradition that he talked about that I saw. Being a coach's kid, you see like before you swim for them, you see, and he was just until a few years ago, he was just the boys coach. So you see how all these high school guys like look up to him as their own dad. I mean, they're spending more time around him. I mean, you're in the water at 5:30, then you're there at the school till 5:30 at night. So you're spending more time around him than you are your own parents. So I mean, I think you just saw like the importance that he had in other people's lives, and I really just was really looking forward to getting to swim for him in that regard. So swimming for him was more than I could have ever asked for. It's not easy being a coach's kid. A lot of people think you go home and just talk bad about everyone else, how you can screw someone else over. But I can tell you that's not what happens between a coach and their parent and their child. Because a lot of you're spent after you spend the whole day at the pool. It's a lot of time around chlorine. It starts to get to your brain after a while. So you don't just go back and talk about. Rarely my dad and I would talk about swimming outside of the pool. But I think the sport of swimming has given me more amazing people in my life than I could have ever asked for. A few years ago, I think it was 16. I was at a summer state meet, and I got to meet. There was this woman. She was a 1976 Olympian. Her son just made the 2021 Olympic team a month earlier, and I was like, "Oh, hey, congrats on your son making the Olympic team." That's literally all I said to her, and she's like, "Thanks you," and I walked away. Well, later in the same day, I was counting because in distance events you'll count for someone else that's swimming, and she goes up to my dad and she goes, "Who's that kid over there?" And at first, like, "Oh shit, what'd he do?" Um, and so she goes, "No, he was just so nice to me. I'm going to keep an eye out for him." So this 1976 Olympian who's in the United States Olympic Hall of Fame became one of my mentors and someone that would always cheer for me. She'd walk the pool. That is just so cool. I mean, as a swim nerd, that is like so cool, and it kind of brings a tear to my eye about how special that was to me. And I look back on some of the live streams, you can see her cheering for me. Like she had no reason to do that. She had her own kids, but she took the time out to stop and watch me, which is more than it just means a lot to me. And then two, swimming for my dad, my senior year, we got the chance to take down our rival. My last time I ever swam in my high school pool, high school section mate, we beat our rival for the first time in 5 years. I get to jump in the pool with my dad to celebrate after. Like those are very special moments. Then now I get to coach with him and spend all that time with him, and we just get to talk about swimming. And I now coach at the high school that was the rival, and people had their opinions on that, but people do what's best for their career, and you can't fault anyone for needing to do what they. I mean, my dad was at Riley for 25 years, and so that's why you spend a lot of time. That's a quarter of a century. It's sometimes time for a new challenge. But like I said, swimming has given me a lot. It's given me lots of great stories, and there's one more I want to share. That's how I continue to be involved with the sport. Is I also work for the University of Tampa, and I do social media for them at their national championship meet. So I got to do it my sophomore during spring break in Indianapolis. Very cool. The men were national runner-up. Well, this year I'm going. It's in Evansville, Indiana, and all you need to know in Evansville, Indiana, is that there seems to be no one around. It's supposed to be the third largest state in Indiana. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but that's an aside. So it feels like we're the only people in this town for this swim meet, and it's back and forth between Tampa and Drury, and it's going to come down to the last event, the 400 freestyle relay. Every single swim meet that has this relay will end with the 400 freestyle relay. I've heard it described as like the granddaddy of them all. So Tampa is up 3.5 points over Drury, and if they want to be the national champion, they need to get no worse than second. Drury can win the relay, but they can finish no worse than second. And if they finish third, they lose. If they won't be the national champions. Well, the bad thing about this is that Tampa because of their seed time, is not in the fast heat race with everybody else. So all these other people are up, and they just won't be in that fast heat. And you always worry if you're not in the race, how can you be in the meet? Like it's just tough. So they swim heat two. They put up a time. It's 2:51.1, just about the second half off the national record. So okay, Drury comes in with a 2:51 mid, but you can always go faster. So like okay, hopefully no one else goes faster than Drury if they are if they beat us. So the next heat takes off. I go over to the team side to watch, and we're just watching. We're watching Drury go, and I'm comparing splits. And I'm like, I think it's close. It might be close. I don't know. The Drury's anchor leg in the 400 freestyle relay, everybody swims 100, which is 4 laps of the pool. Their last swimmer turns in the last wall to come from home. Our entire bench turns towards the board, and we just watch the clock tick. 248, 249, 250. And as soon as it goes past 250.1, our bench just erupts because we just won the national champ. Like they just won the national championship. I get chills thinking about it because like they just won a national title, and the place went nuts. Like this, Evansville had no energy until that moment. I mean, the energy was brought to. I mean, it was just so cool, and like everybody's embracing. Tears on people's eyes. I mean, I only get to spend a week around these guys, but I mean, watch people win a national championship. That's very, very cool. And then they let me jump in a team into the water to celebrate with them. I mean, you watch excellence out of the water, and I was never going to be able to win a national championship as a swimmer, but being around that is very cool. So I'm very thankful for swimming. It's given me a lot in my life, and I can't wait to see what it keeps providing me as I move forward.
Awesome. Thank you guys. That was fantastic. So I have some more questions about sports, but Chris, I'll let you jump in if you have any questions about anything you just heard.
Gosh, both of you awesome. That's so like generally I'm so jealous. But I guess one being a big football guy, I'll ask Steven a question. So like how is game day like as a manager? Are you involved with that at all?
Yeah, so it depends on I mean a bunch of people have a bunch of different roles, but one of the big things that I think maybe would differ from a regular student is just how long a game day is for us. Obviously, y'all be out tailgating, doing whatever up until basically the game starts. And then, so game day for y'all is maybe 3.5 hours of actual time at the stadium. We're there for probably about 12, all told. We get there really early to start setting up everything. So we'll set up the locker room for everybody, get all the gear out, get everything set up. And then we start to kind of branch out into our more specific roles. So we'll have folks who will run the field goal nets at the stadium, make sure that they will like they're manual nets at Notre Dame, which is kind of weird, but like people are in charge of basically raising them. That's usually the sophomore, the youngest people's job, just because it's kind of anyone can do it. It's really easy. And then again, as you start getting up junior and senior year, then you start kind of splitting out into a bunch of different roles. The main like the role that's always been at Notre Dame is the one I'm going into this coming year. It's the head equipment manager, basically, for the students. Basically, I'll sit in the locker room up until kickoff, essentially. I'll be out there. I'll be getting players stuff that they need, coaches stuff that they need. And I'm just in charge of all things equipment, like new jerseys, new pants, fixing helmets, any sort of accessories players want. That's like my jurisdiction, basically. But we have a bunch of other people too. We've got guys who will signal. There's always usually a couple managers who will signal the defensive plays or at least give dummy signals during the game. One of the other quarterback manager in our grade with me, Kieran, awesome guy. His brother managed too. He's been charting lately for the offense. He'll write down the plays, kind of the results, so coaches can look over that at halftime, see what's working, what's not. He's, I think, also maybe gonna signal this year for the offense, which will be really cool for him. And then it's just a bunch. Well, there's so much stuff that you need to have like a successful game. We have people who hold up personnel cards so everyone knows what's going on. Like if you're on defense, you need to know the personnel of the offense. There's a manager who does that. There's managers who handle all the sideline tablets for whoever's not on the field, so they can watch film actively. There's managers who handle the coach to player helmets, making sure there's only one player out there at a time who's got that on, and rotating them around. And yeah, so yeah, just a bunch of sort of the unseen roles that like people know about and know need to happen, but like, oh, who's really going to do that? Like, it'd be weird to get a coach to do that. That's sort of what we're stepping into basically and helping helping run during a game.
That's awesome. I didn't even know you guys did all that, but that's
Yeah.
actually sick, especially the play calling. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's
Ian, how
fun.
do
I'll
you,
work with him before games. Make sure he's got them all memorized. It's a fun time.
that's so cool.
All right.
Uh,
Do you have any
yeah,
more, Chris, or should I go?
go for it, Ian.
Okay. So this is like the last sports question I'll ask. And then Chris, if you have like some general questions to take it home. So, I feel like I think about sports a lot. Obviously, a big part of both Cooper and Steven's lives, as we've just heard. But I think a lot of people have different but similar experiences of sports really being formative in their lives. But there are definitely some people who don't feel that connection to sports necessarily. But there are so many sports out there. So I'm going to ask kind of like an age-old question that's probably not been asked before. So maybe it's not an age-old question, but it probably should be. So just a thing about it. All right.
Yeah.
Are sports for everybody? Do you think sports are for everybody?
Well, I mean, so many things are considered a sport nowadays. I don't know how you couldn't find something I mean, people are asking if the spelling bee is a sport, which is up for debate, but I mean, there's something you can find. I mean, sometimes not even like the sport itself, there's a story behind it, right? And I think it's probably part of the reason why I love journalism so much because there's a story with what you're watching. It's just like you're watching people and by watching these people, even if you don't have to like football, you don't have to like soccer, there's something on the line there. Is it an undefeated season? Is it a number one ranking? Is it to win the national championship? Those are the stories that I think anyone can gravitate to because it's hard work. And whether or not you love sports or you don't love sports, you know what hard work is, and you want to be able to and everybody also loves an underdog, right? You love rooting for the underdog. You love to see the Notre Dame or the Alabama come down because you want those people to beat them because those are the decisive teams in college football. So I think even if you don't love sports, you can find aspects of sports that you do love that are interesting to you and find other sports because there's so many sports out there. I mean, there's more than we could talk about on this podcast. So there is something for everyone. And just because you may not love the general sports doesn't mean there's not an aspect you can't find that's interesting to you. So I don't think a hatred of sports is good because there's always something that one could be interested in within a certain sport.
Extremely well said. Very well said. Anybody have anything to add to that? I feel like that kind of.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
All right. So that concludes our sports segment. Wow, social media and sports. Who would have thought? Who would have thought we could have covered it all, right? It's impressive. All right, Chris, you got some general questions just to kind of wrap us up, maybe?
I guess my last question would be for Cooper and Steven would be, what's your favorite moment with Ian you've had? If you could, maybe it doesn't have to be a favorite, but something to highlight your relationship with him. I'll give you a second to think. I know this is a hard one.
I mean, I think well, for one, I think the Breakfast Club, but the Breakfast Club where it's just me and Ian, that's kind of that's sort of the fundamental thing of how we really started to work together and further our relationship. Obviously, we've had other moments together. We helped run Sons of Dylan this past year, which is basically a group for our dorm. We'll just kind of talk about whatever's on our minds. It's a good time, but that Breakfast Club has definitely been a great way to get to know each other, and I think that's pretty. It shares a lot of our common interests and goals and sort of motivations. So I think that's a great way to put it. There's another specific little moment though that I like to think about sometimes. It's when one of the last basketball sessions of the year, Ian Talty threw me a fast break lob, and I think that really just displays the connection we have. We all we needed, I just needed a little point to the air. He knew we were on the same page, we were on the same wavelength. He put it there. I put it. It wasn't a dunk. I'm not going to give myself that credit, but we put it into the hoop and we got excited about it. And yeah, I think that shows how we work together and play off each other well.
Love that.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, Talty and we were friends freshman sophomore year, but when we came back, I mean, like we like got super close pretty quickly within the first month of this past second semester, and I think that just kind of stands out. I mean, like people think like, oh, you get to a later point in college and you can't get close with people. I think that's bullshit. I mean, I really enjoyed getting to just chat with Talty. There'd be a few days when I would have an 8 a.m. and he'd be at the DH early, and we get to chat, and I really enjoyed just getting to know Talty better and bothering him at the mailroom and him getting a lot of my friends as well. Tolty had a big part of my semester. That's why he made the end of the year Instagram post too. So and I love the way that Tolty reacts to certain situations. I mean, there was a situation on the bus to formal. It was pretty nasty, and his when I told him the story, I mean, his reaction was super funny. So I mean, I love the way he reacts to certain situations. So very appreciative for Tolty and his friendship.
Oh, I love that.
I appreciate that. That's very nice. Very nice. Okay. Well, a huge thank you to Cooper and Stephen for joining us. This was a great episode. Yeah, hopefully, right now we're at about 100,000 subscribers, but we want to get that number up.
Cody's on.
Yeah,
Spread the word.
yeah, we want to get that number
We'll
up.
tell people Notre Dame now. It won't be some secret.
As long as Ian's okay with us sharing about it. I mean,
Of course, yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
The word will get out. The word will get, and then people will be dying to be on. They'll be asking when are they going to
I think this might be in the Dallas Morning News.
I'll write an editorial on it.
Please put it out there.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I'll see what my editor says about that one.
The state of podcasting in America.
Podcasting in America.
Anyone can have a podcast now. It's horrendous.
Anyone can. This is the perfect example, Tal. You guys do a great job. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. It's been awesome talking to you both.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. All right,
Glad
let's do.
Ian has real friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great way to end it. All right, let's do something cool to end it. Like let's like put our hands in, like break it down, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody get to the Cooper, you go to the
middle,
top
the
corner.
point.
Yeah, go to try to get to the corner type of thing. Like you gotta get in the corner, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Steven,
Like this?
you're not get in the corner, Top
This
corner.
is the corner.
Top corner.
Right here?
I'm in the top corner.
Chris, bottom corner.
Yeah, but we're different on his screen. We're different.
Yeah,
on his screen.
it'll record from my screen. Other bottom, Chris. All right, we're good. All right. Podcast on 3. 1, 2, 3. Podcast.
Podcast. Nice.